Hello and welcome to the Business Today show. I'm your host Udayan Mukherjee. This was a big week for the Indian capital market because it saw the biggest digital IPO it has ever seen in PayTM. PayTM's had a remarkably successful journey as a mobile wallet and as a payments platform, but its debut was not very good because it fell 25%. That's the stock price on the first day. And therefore it's a great time to understand its long-term story and prospects from its founder and CEO Vijay Shekhar Sharma, who joins me now on the Business Today show. Vijay, it's good to see you and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here, Udayan. It's good to be on your show. Thank you. Long due.
Well, and I have to ask you, you've had such a remarkable journey, but there must be some disappointment today on the day of the listing because the stock did not turn out as you may have expected. It fell 25%. How disappointed are you?
Well, to be honest about it, I'm not that disappointed as somebody on such a day could have been, because I think it is a day of acknowledgement of the fact that we were able to pull off an IPO. And one thing, there is a lesson in this learning, that market is much wider than the fewer investors in the roadshow that we talked about, and we have an obligation to explain our business model to a much wider audience. So today, even though the stock is not the way I wish and we all wish would have been, but at the same point of time, it is still a remarkable day for us all in our lives.
On hindsight, if you had to do it again, would you do it differently? Would you leave a little bit more on the table for shareholders who might have seen some appreciation on day one? It's only one day of trading, so one should not read too much into it. But as you said, there is a lesson to be learned from it, clearly. Would you do it differently if you could do it again?
I would do one thing differently, that I would reach out to much wider audience, much wider number of investors than a much lesser number that we would have reached out. So we reached out to institutional investors, international, domestic, and we reached out and narrated our detailed story to them as a roadshow. We did some conferences, as they say, in retail here. I would do lot more interaction, lot more explanation of business model than by now we've done. And also another thing that in hindsight I would have decided is that our few quarters forward numbers are there with us because we see the business day to day and every day. Obviously, thanks to the obligation of audited and obligation of filing certain information, only a selected information, it also makes me understand that we should probably bring lot more information, lot more, I would say, business KPIs sooner in public market so that people are able to appreciate what we are talking works out. Well, then you know this, that payment leading to financial service business model is first time in India. International investors have been able to see this business multiple times, multiple places, so probably they were far more, I'd say, excited versus some of others who for the first time are listening this. So it's very fair for us to see questions like whether you can make money or not, whether you can make profit or not. Fair. I wish that our numbers speak louder than our words right now.
But given all these issues that you spoke about, do you think you could have erred on the side of being conservative, maybe price the issue a little bit more conservatively, given the specific concerns that you alluded to, that you're still loss-making, you have a journey ahead to get to profitability, and you're now entering or going to enter new businesses? Given all of that, could you have left more on the table and priced the issue more conservatively?
So, first of all, I believe that pricing as an event is still in the hands of investors. Thanks to the public market investors we've raised money from, so there is a lot of public market investors, anchor investors to the investors at large when we are opening the range, all those things done. So while you could talk about whether there is a pricing less or more that could have worked out, I think the more important and fundamental issue is our business model, which requires people to understand. I would like to quote example of Infosys, who also went through this misunderstanding or understanding required a lot more work, that what is the business model, how do you achieve what you are looking to achieve. In our case, our business model is totally new. People have seen financial services being done by banks or financial institutions, not a young technology company. So while you do want to tell me, and I do understand your question is that if you would have left more on the table, would have been differently. I don't know what the pricing is actually. I mean, pricing is something that we talk to investors, or investors chose to put up, and that is what we came with. And I can say that we believe that there is a lot of headroom for room for us to bring lot more data points, lot more business performance KPIs, which probably will bring different kind of confidence and different kind of investors to buy into it.